So are you guys ready for this? Because the housing market has officially turned into a game of cheaters. Let me show you exactly what I mean by this recent social media post. Private equity firms and real estate investors bought 1/3 of all single-family residential properties sold in the second quarter of 2025. That is an increase from 27% from the first quarter and the highest percentage in the last 5 years per CNBC. This must be stopped. Let me tell you the harsh truth. The system is not broken. It's built this way. Even here in Las Vegas, you can see right next to me that homeownership is becoming less and less affordable. And coming up, I'm going to show you some shocking data about what's going on in the housing market, what I think is going to happen in the housing market, and whether or not you should buy a home now, later, or maybe never. What's going on, my YouTube friends? Jerry Abbott here, your go-to Las Vegas realtor. If you're a returning viewer, welcome back. And if you're new here and you want to learn everything there is to know about the Las Vegas and U.S. housing market, make sure to subscribe to the channel and like the video. And if you are thinking about relocating to beautiful Las Vegas, whether it's next month or next year, I've got your back. I'm a local real estate agent here. I've lived here for 20 years. I know every inch of this city. When that time is right for you, definitely reach out to me. Just call, text, or email me anytime, and I'll help you find that perfect dream home. Let's dive into the video. So over the last week or so, there's been a lot of media reports talking about how Washington might want to try to create a 50-year mortgage. And let me tell you how absurd all of that is. Take a look at this recent headline. The average home buyer right now, first-time home buyer, is 40 years old. So if we add 50 years as a mortgage to that person's age, you're basically paying for a home until you die. And get this, I'm going to show you in this breakdown coming up the difference in terms of the total cost of a home when you're paying on a 30-year mortgage versus a 50-year mortgage, and it is going to blow your mind. All right, so now this is really astonishing. I want to show you these two small charts right next to my picture here. First one on the right side is the 30-year mortgage option, and then the one right closest to my picture is the potential 50-year mortgage option. Now I want to break this down. So let's start over on the right side first on the 30-year option, and let's look at some of the numbers down below. Let's highlight each one of them. So the house price we're using as an example is $400,000. Underneath that, it says loan amount, $320,000. And then underneath that, it says down payment, $80,000. So this is a traditional 20% down payment scenario. But take a look at the next highlight where it says total of 360 mortgage payments, $728,000. Underneath that, total interest, $408,000, and then the mortgage payoff date is in November 2025. So this just clearly proves that even the 30-year mortgage option is highway robbery because you're paying for a home that costs $400,000, and by the time you pay it off 30 years from now, it's basically double the amount, over $800,000 in terms of total cost. Now let's look over on the left side. This is the 50-year potential mortgage option where things completely go crazy. Same exact house price, $400,000, same loan amount, same down payment amount, but instead of 360 payments, you can see in that highlight, total of 600 mortgage payments is $1,082,000. And then underneath that, you can see total interest, $762,000. And the mortgage payoff date is in November 2075. So if you thought the 30-year mortgage payment was a total scam, the 50-year potential mortgage option is the scam of the century, because when you think about buying a $400,000 home, even on a 30-year mortgage term, you're paying double the amount for it over that 30-year term because half of that money is just in interest alone. On the 50-year potential term, you're looking at over $1 million for this home, $762,000 alone in interest for a $400,000 home. So there's a difference between the 30-year and the 50-year of about $350,000 more in interest. But when we take a look at the top there, you can see that the monthly payments are only dropping down about $200 per month when you're doing the 50-year option versus the 30-year option. So you save $200 a month approximately, but you pay way more for the home on a 50-year mortgage option than you ever would on a 30-year. Both are bad options. The 50-year is an atrocious option. Now, the likelihood of a 50-year mortgage being passed into law is very low, but that's really not the point. The fact that these ideas are now being floated around in Washington shows you the bigger picture problem, and that's a total lack of affordability because the system really is not designed at all to keep things affordable. It's to keep people paying. And that's exactly what we're seeing in places like Las Vegas. Let me show you a few homes on Zillow that look normal on the surface, but when we look at these original asking prices, and more importantly, how high these monthly mortgage payments are, it clearly shows why so many people feel completely priced out of this market. All right, so now I'm on the popular real estate app Zillow, and I want to show you 3 specific examples of Las Vegas homes for sale, starting in the luxury category and then working down closer to the median price point, which here in Las Vegas right now is about $475,000. Now, here's the thing. I want to show you these 3 examples, not just because of price reductions that are happening, but also because I want to show you just how expensive the monthly mortgage payment is. So if we take a look at this luxury listing, you can see right next to me, this home is $3 million right now on the current listing price. You can see in that small red bar, they did a price reduction of $300,000. You can see that at the very bottom of the screen. Back in September, the home was listed for $3.3 million. And then in October, a few weeks later, they reduced it down to $3 million. But take a look right there next to that flashing red arrow where it says in the top green bar there, estimated $16,890 per month. So let's just stop and think about this for a second. If you're a luxury buyer, and again, I know the vast majority of people are not buying $3 million homes, but if you were to buy this home and you put down a traditional 20% down payment on this home, that would be $600,000 as your down payment, and your monthly mortgage payment in that small green bar you can see is nearly $17,000 a month, even after putting that kind of substantial down payment down. So it just goes to show you, not only do you need a lot of cash up front to buy into this kind of a home, you need a very significant income of probably at least $50,000 per month to afford this kind of a monthly mortgage payment. So now let's take a look at this second example of another Las Vegas home for sale. Now we're coming down a little bit lower in price, but we're still right near the entry-level luxury price point, which here in Las Vegas is about $1 million. Now you can see right there in the middle of the screen, the current list price on this home is $1,139,000. Right above that in that small red bar, it says price cut of $100,000, but that is not the full price reduction because you can see at the bottom of the screen, this home has been on the market now for over a year, and the original list price on it was $1,499,000. So this home has not come down just $100,000 in price. It's come down over $350,000 in price. But again, more importantly, take a look at the number in the small green bar right there where it says $6,365 a month. That's the monthly mortgage payment. Again, if you put down the traditional 20% down payment, the way Zillow is calculating this. So again, on this particular home price of almost $1,140,000, the buyer would have to put down about $250,000, and then their monthly mortgage payment is still well over $6,000 per month. So again, you need a lot of money up front to put down, and you need a very sizable income, again, of probably close to $20,000 a month to truly comfortably afford this kind of a price point. All right, so now let's take a look at this third and final example of another Las Vegas home for sale. Now we're coming all the way down to the median price point, which here in Las Vegas is $475,000, and that's exactly what this home is priced at right now. Now, just above the price, you can see again in that red bar, it says price cut of $15,000. That is Zillow showing the most recent price reduction, but that's not the full price reduction because as you can see at the very bottom, the original list price on this home back in June was $525,000. It's now down to $475,000. So that's a $50,000 price reduction, not a $15,000 price reduction. But again, even more important to look at is that number right there in that small green bar at the top. $2,593 per month is your monthly mortgage payment if you were to purchase this home. Now, here's the thing. This is why there's such a massive affordability issue. Not only are sellers still overpricing their homes, but even when these price reductions happen and we get down closer to this average price point, the average income earning person doesn't have that 20% down payment on this kind of an average price point. That means they don't have $100,000 lying around just to get a $2,600 a month payment. They have maybe 10% or 15%. So maybe if they had $50,000 or $75,000 to put down, that means the monthly mortgage payment goes up even higher. And in this example, it's likely around $3,000 a month, which means the average income earning person not only has to have tens of thousands of dollars again to put down as a down payment, they need to earn well into the six-figure range just to afford a home like this. So looking at some of these listing examples, it's clear that a lot of these sellers are still living in the past and pricing their homes as if it's still the peak of the market, which we know, of course, is not the case anymore. But when we look past these price cuts, it's the payments that are so outrageous that the cost of owning right now is just completely unreal. And that's really the big issue. It's the system that continuously cheats the average person out of home ownership because these costs are so outrageous. So before I close out today's video, I just want to go back to what I was talking about earlier in the video. Instead of showing you my favorite comment of the week, I want to ask you guys this question. I want to take a quick little survey. You can see right next to me again that the idea of a 50-year mortgage being floated around is completely ludicrous to me, but I want to hear your thoughts. I want you to drop me a comment down below. I read and respond to all of my comments. Do you think this 50-year mortgage potential option is a good idea or a bad idea? And I want to know why. And my favorite comment from this week's video, I'm going to give a direct on-screen shout out to in next week's video. So just to close out the video, the truth of the matter is this, and I think a lot of people would agree with me on this. The entire system is rigged and it's only getting worse. And this potential 50-year mortgage option just goes to show you that it's not about affordability. It's about putting people into a lifetime of debt, especially when it comes to buying a home. And if you are thinking about buying a home, unless you have a lot of cash or you're in a significant six-figure income, you need to definitely negotiate in this market. The market is changing. It is cooling off. Inventory is going up. So whether you're looking to buy a home here in Las Vegas or anywhere in the country, definitely negotiate with these sellers to try to get the best deal possible. And if you are thinking about buying a home, especially here in Las Vegas, I've got your back. I'm a local real estate agent here. I've lived here for 20 years. I know every inch of this city. When that time is right for you, definitely reach out to me. Just call, text, or email me anytime, and I'll help you find that perfect dream home. I'll see you in the next video.